Cardano Spaceplace, episode number 119, Spilling the Tea. All right. Hey, y'all. What's going on?
I got my tea here, guys.
Got your tea? All right.
Ready to spill some.
Let's spill it. Yeah, we are hanging out tonight. We are going to talk Zengate, talk spilling tea. We're going to talk whatever else comes up because it's Spaceplace.
I had a whole gallon of tea.
Got a whole gallon of tea.
Well, I had.
Oh, Dangles, what you had that shipped in?
We got to fill it. We got to fill it back up.
Nice.
Hello, everyone. It's just a pleasure to be here with you. Super excited to finally be able to actually do this.
The pleasure's ours. We're glad to have you. You know, it's going to be an exciting episode for the community. You know, I think that, what you guys are working on, Palmyra and Zengate, is just an amazing real world opportunity or implementation for crypto. And it just makes sense to really dive in and understand kind of what you guys are doing, the value proposition to not only your customers, but to the world. It's just an amazing initiative.
No doubt.
Yeah, it's definitely a quite big project and a quite big ecosystem. I'll do my best to fill in all the gaps that we might have today. At the same time, we should be joined by Daniel at some point, hopefully. So he'll be able to actually give you all the big picture, because everything starts from him, right? And his journey through IOG, and the whole Cardano 2017 vision that we all got hooked back in the days, with Charles's Bermuda TEDx and obviously the whiteboard video. So yeah, it's just a pleasure to be here with all of you guys, and yeah, super excited to spill the tea.
Awesome. Yeah, it's amazing how many of us got hooked by that Cardano 2017, that vision, that promise. It seems to be the people that are still here. You hear that a lot, so that's a pretty amazing thing I think we all have in common.
And one of the things is that, back in the days, we used to say, oh, yeah, this is a great vision, yada, 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 but we don't have the technology. We used to say that all the time, right? Oh, yeah, great vision, but we're not just there yet. Atala isn't there, a lot of stuff we're not there back then. But lately, we're still talking about the Cardano 27 vision, and, we're like, okay, so what's up?
Exactly.
Who's doing it?
Well, let's take a look and see who's in the audience. We got Kristen's there, at Spaceplace. Steve Lockhart's in there, giving us throwing some smiley face. Steve, Lord is asking, "Are we live?" We are, in fact, live, Lord. And Mark Byers said, "Good day."
Nice.
All right. So the crowd has begun to fill in. That's good to see you guys. Good to see everybody. And
I'm also excited to actually talk to Chris again, Lloyd, Adam, of course, and Andrew. Andrew and Kyle I haven't seen since NFT XLV for sure. I'm pretty sure everybody I haven't seen since then or even before that. So it's just a great opportunity for me to catch up with all of you guys.
Well, it's my fault too. I haven't had a passport in almost a decade, and I'm getting a new one tomorrow. So I'll see you pretty much everywhere.
Hey, that's exciting.
Is it?
Did you make it over to the summit in Dubai, Theo?
I didn't go last year, but hopefully the plan is for me to go. The only event that I haven't been, like Cardano event, obviously, it's the summit at all. So I'm really looking forward to, and since it's going to be in Dubai again, like I'm glad that I missed last year because I can at least, get to see how this year is going to be. Yeah, I'm super excited about it. Yeah. Do you want me to just start and go? How do you want to set it up? I don't know.
Well, tell us about your project. Let's start there and kind of what the value proposition is, and then we can kind of get into some more specific questions. But if I were one of your customers, what's the pitch you would give me? How is how are you guys going to help me out?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So so if I were to give like an elevator pitch, right, just to get that out of the way, I would simply ask whoever was right in front of me if they've used eBay or Amazon or Alibaba or AliExpress. So what we're building is a platform like Amazon, eBay, etc. That instead of you being able to go and buy your electric device, your clothes, whatever that might be, you'll be able to buy commodities. It's a B2B platform, so it's a business to business. But later down the road, such same idea as Alibaba did AliExpress, we will have an option for the retail customer as well. Now, so this is exactly what the platform is. Now, what is the difference between Amazon and eBay? One of the most important things, and something that we're all going to start seeing more and more and more, especially after 2026, is that all of the products that are going to be on the shelf, like consumables, will actually need to have traceability as of 2026, both in US and in the European Union. So it will be a mandatory thing to have traceability on every single product that will be out there. Now, obviously, we're talking now about agricultural products, right? Consumable goods. But at the same time, we see a lot of problems, in the aerospace industry and whatnot, in terms of, what is the parts that they're using. I'm not even going to go to how were they sourced and whatnot. Was it ethical? All that stuff. But yeah, traceability will be one of the big components that we have on the platform already. So all the commodities, they will be tokenized, and they will be tracked from from when they got harvested all the way until they get into our hands through scanning a QR code. So super, super simple. An elevator pitch. It will give you proof of origin. It will give global access market. Access to global markets. Like that didn't sound right. And at the same time, it will also give a lot of financial instruments and opportunities that people didn't have previously. So that's the start.
That's awesome. When you say, I'm sorry, we got to echo somebody. Okay. Basically, when you say traceability, we all know what that means in the technologies you need to do that. Can you explain why the technologies you're using today relevant? Blockchain and cryptocurrency is relevant to traceability and why it enables that, or how it enables that.
For sure. Just making a quick side note. I think Dan is trying to join or something like that.
Perfect.
Yes. He's been trying to get in with the link and he can't. Sorry, I had to say that so we can get
totally
him on.
Fine. Keep on knocking, but you can't come in.
Exactly, yeah.
That's all right, Theo. You're here, Dan's not. So you tell us about what is traceability? What is traceability?
I'm supposed to be Robin.
I sent him a fresh link, by the way. So check your DMs, Dan.
Okay, so traceability. So why is it important, right? There's two sides of the story here, and I will start with the buyer side because we can all relate right now, and everybody in the audience can relate because we're all buyers, right? We might not be producing, a commodity, but we're definitely consuming it. So as we've seen in the past 5 years or so, the people are looking for more information around what they're consuming, such as, is it organic? Is it grass-fed? Is it cage-free? Is it and the list goes on and on and on and on, right? So and I have to say this because that's an example that I was just shocked when I saw it. That's why I'm using this example. There's also this lab-grown meat in the US that's
Give me some of that.
It's legal to actually have. Now.
3D printed lab grown.
Exactly.
They just made it illegal in my home state of Florida. I'm so disappointed.
Yeah, sorry, Andrew.
I want to try
the company
this
that
stuff.
makes it. They're based out of Florida too.
I don't even know. They're just trying to protect the cattle industry here in Florida. But it's where we got to go eventually. We can't just
Man, we drove all over Florida when I was down there. You guys have like 5 cows. Like, who are you protecting, really? Like,
Yeah.
No, I've seen a bunch of them. I've been driving around Florida quite a bit. They're out there.
Florida's actually one of the larger cattle producers in the country.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yes, it is. Yep.
So
It's
essentially,
it's like CNN Crossfire in here. I'm like, who's talking about what?
Dan,
I'll
welcome.
finish up and then it's all yours, Dan.
Hey, buddy.
No, Theo, you don't get off that easy. Yeah, this is Spaceplace. You don't get off that easy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go off easy. I don't want to get off easy. I just want to make sure I give Dan the spotlight because again, I'm Robin. I have Batman here with me. So
Dan gets enough spotlight. You know,
we-
you're the head of
we
operations.
yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah, I do. But sometimes you always need more. Hey, Kyle, what are you doing there? That this does not look right. Oh, you're polished.
It's bigger than I thought.
Happy that you're here, bro.
Okay, so Kyle
He's
is polishing
literally
his pipe.
rubbing one out.
Yeah, is rubbing his pipes. Okay, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, if you take Kyle from every Spaceplace episode from number 1 to number 119 here, you can probably build a motorcycle 3 to 4 times.
Well, like from where I'm sitting, that I know that's a motorcycle, but that kind of looks like a turbocharged wheelchair in that from that angle.
I got the wheel on the balancer. That's what that is.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, now I get it. Yeah, but it just kind of it just kind of looks like a rocket wheelchair.
That would be politically incorrect, but that would be a great Spaceplace
Okay,
motto.
I'm sorry. What do wheelchairs identify as these days? Are they the non-binary rolling vehicles?
I live in Canada. I can't comment on these things.
Yeah. Oh, you guys living in the West, you're like,
Yeah.
ooh. He didn't get the memo. Like, ooh, like he can't say that. Yeah, it's like I still live in a country where every day I ask when am I going to go back?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, so you're gonna go back to where you're from, right? When? Like, and it's completely honest. Yeah, look, Andrew is like trying to solve the ultimate puzzle of the '80s over there. It's like every man for himself here, and Kyle, like, what is that now? He just
That's totally Spaceplace.
like
Though.
Kyle
This
has
is
got all these
Spaceplace.
Chaos.
motions. Kyle's got all these motions now. You're like, what? Well, like, what is that? Like, he's sniffing one out. He's
Using his
Right.
Slowing
So
one out.
how does
It's going full
Zengate
circle.
factor in here? Like, Kyle's opening a package for a part on his motorcycle. Like,
right.
why is traceability
great
important?
question.
That's what we were talking about.
Yeah,
like,
this
you
is
came
oil.
in.
It's oil. I got oil.
All right.
So-
So, like, which dinosaurs did that oil come from? Right? Maybe I
All
want
right.
to know. Right? Like, so
It might not have been a dinosaur.
So I might go off the script and do a very dangerous thing for all
Do
of
it.
us here. All right.
Do it. Go off book. Let's
But
do
I
it. Come on.
think I will. Yeah. So Dan, do you want to tell us how it all started? How Zengate and Palmyra came together?
Okay.
I'll see you guys in 45 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. Oh,
Thanks,
hey.
Theo.
You're renting the same house as Fred and who else rented that house? That house gets a lot of traffic. Do any of you guys play that the Piano Royale?
It's a classic Airbnb that whoever does a StreamYard or a Zoom call, they gotta rent it.
Yeah. No, it's what we did, but it's probably somewhere like weird, like Canada or something.
It's in Canada.
Canada. Yeah. Okay, it's in Canada.
Canadian.
At Canada. And the Royal Canadian Yucksmen that protected. And like half of you people just didn't get that reference, but it's okay. I'm
You
pretty
don't
sure like
get
pretty
that.
much everybody on this call got the reference because we're all old. But anyway, yeah. Look up the Royal Canadian Yucksmen, and you will find joy in your lives. Now, speaking of joy in your lives, I will now tell you, well, you, the audience, not you, Brady Bunch dudes, how it all started, right? So, okay, so I did the stuff at IOG. some like in the style of Charles, I am just some dude that did some stuff on the blockchain at IOG for a few years. And so while I was doing this stuff, right, we had a pretty serious concentration on emerging markets. And it's really cool to work in emerging markets because Theo, I thought you were going to go for 45 minutes. That's very short, by the way. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and I really like emerging markets because emerging markets, you can, I'm really trying.
Let him say it. Like, come on.
I'm really trying. Okay.
He said he was
All
doing stuff like 8 times. Like,
listen,
come on,
listen.
Nuge is in the audience. I'm here. This is Spaceplace. You can't just say
Listen.
I was doing stuff.
Yeah, you can't say doing
Peter
stuff.
Venkman,
Tempting us
Peter
to
Venkman of the Real Ghostbusters does not approve. Okay, Peter Venkman does not approve. No.
That's your short. That's your YouTube short there, Kyle.
Right? Yeah. Peter Venkman does not approve. No. That's the YouTube short.
This is so erratic. Or erotic. Anyway,
both. It could be both. Like,
it could be both.
Embrace the chaos.
Oh, wait a second, Chris. We can be twins. Hold on. Wait. Okay, so this is not going to happen too often, but yoink,
Good.
yoink. Yeah,
I've got a Peter Venkman too.
There it is.
I just have to wait. Yeah. My head is crooked, so it doesn't look as good. But yeah, there we go.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. All right.
With how that brim is flipped up, you just need like a big peacock feather coming out of that.
Yeah,
side of the hat, and you're good to go.
I look kind of God, what is the political way of saying retarded right now? I forgot.
It doesn't matter. You already screwed it up.
Retarded.
Sorry. Well, whatever the politically correct way of saying that's what I look like right now with
You
the hat.
look retarded in the most politically correct way possible.
Yeah. So I'm gonna not do the hat right now. I just wanted to show Chris that I support. You've got my support, but I'm gonna get back to the Billy Crystal cowboy headwear.
Looks like Steve Lockhart tees too.
No one, that's literally not in this age group will get. But you know what I'm talking about, bros, right? You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Give me 5, Adam. Or yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. All right. Anyway, let's get back to the
Right, Hollywood Squares or whatever we were playing.
This is the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
So we need 2 more. Theo is Alice. So wait a second. Were the girls on the left or the right? I forgot.
Your left or my left?
I don't know. What left is there? I thought everybody's left is everybody's left. Like Kyle said, he's like, whoa. Oh, okay. That's just camera delay because kid's like.
We call that the Puerto Rico lag.
Get back to the story. No more distractions with random.
Right. So you were doing a bunch of butt stuff with Charles, and go.
Yeah. And he's big and husky, so it's really a pleasure. Chris just left. He's like, screw this shit. Anyway. It's like that Clint Eastwood skit back in like whatever it was 10, 12 years ago with Obama. Yeah, with the empty chair. That's kind of like what Chris is doing right now. Anyway, and there he is. Thank God. Because we do need
there you go.
Hey, yeah. Slimer. Hey, Slimer. Yeah.
Oh, look, and he got himself a couple of feathers for his hat. So he's good to go.
Okay, listen, we always need a Texas goatee on this whole setup, okay? So like Chris needs to be here.
Yeah.
I mean that's like you're going for the Texas goatee, yeah? That's the idea, right?
I didn't know that was a thing, but I guess I am.
It is. I mean, come on, man. You know about the lyrical stylings of ZZ Top, right?
I'm going to take that as a compliment. Thank you.
Yeah, like ZZ Top.
Got about 5
Texas
feet.
goatee.
There's like 5 feet to go.
Yeah. Give me all your loving. Yeah, all that stuff. Anyway, Anyway, right, to get back to this. Okay, emerging economies, Charles stuff. Anyway, so emerging economies, right? I like it because in emerging economies you get to just do stuff, not butt stuff, like stuff, right? Regular stuff. And it's really kind of, because when you deal with large governments, like you developed nations like UK, US, I'm not gonna call Canada a developed nation, but sort of developed, Canada and stuff like that. The problem is that everything takes so fucking long, like everything. Japan as well. I mean, Japan is like the epitome of shit taking a long time. They invented the concept of shit taking a long time in Japan, I think. And not just because of like lack of action. It's like just we have to recheck everything 357 times type of stuff. Anyway, developing economies a lot easier to get traction in. They're a lot more adventurous. They're a lot more open to change. So you go there, you go to Southeast Asia, you go to Eastern Europe. These guys are really trying to get ahead, right? They're trying to leapfrog. So you always have this, like, you always can find the guy, right? The guy or the guys or gals or the peoples, the they them. You can find the they them. They can kind of plug you in at a pretty high, top level. And so that's just business development. You have to know how to find these people, and these people exist pretty much in all of these jurisdictions. And so you get to do quite a bit of stuff. You get to talk to central banks about potentially using, like say fiat stables, digital payments and instant settlements. You get to talk to industries about utilizing like digital credentials and all these great things, right? So, and plus, at the very least, you can get a bunch of piloting done, right? So you can actually do stuff on a national level, right? So even if it doesn't really take off, like explode and become this, intricate part of their entire whatever system, it is still a very good way to really test things in a realistic environment. And so when I started thinking about my own thing, right, and I said, okay, so what do I want to do? What makes me happy? And I always thought that, I like going to these economies and doing business there. It's not easy, but it's where you get the most traction. And so this is, 2021 about-ish. And I'm just thinking, I've always had this thing, and I know a bunch of you agree with me on this, that we're just, like, a lot of the blockchain is being used for really stupid shit. It's just really, really dumb, And it's like, I mean, I can have fun, right? I can have fun, but I mean, for shit's sake, like, come on, It's like I don't know. Anyway, whatever analogy makes that analogy.
It's not product market fit. They're unsustainable.
That's the YouTube short cut right there.
Yeah.
A lot of this blockchain stuff is being used for really stupid shit. Done. Like,
yes,
and broadcast it.
Oh, heroes on a half shell, turtle power. Okay. Anywho. Stupid shit, blockchain used for stupid shit, 2021, booming, like all this stupid shit is running billions of dollars. Now, I'm not saying that OpenSea is stupid shit, but it does have a lot of stupid shit on it that people pay a lot of money for. Right. And so I started thinking, like, okay, so but why is that? Why is there so much like traffic from people who usually don't go into things like stocks and bonds and all this stuff that you actually like speculate on in the traditional financial sense, right? Why do they go into that? Why haven't I really been into it as much? I mean, I've known about it. I've invested some, but I never really got into it. It never really, because like, you always kind of think, okay, well, I'll just buy some blue chips, I'll buy some mutual funds, I'll put it away and yada, yada. But with crypto, it's like more interesting, right? So why is that? And I started thinking, well, it's about the UX, right? It's about the UX of blockchain and what we've created, or what the entire blockchain ecosystem created, is basically this UX where it's a lot less intimidating for people to actually just speculate. And that's not like all around the good thing. It's basically also why people get wrecked. They get into this thing like, oh my God, look, it's a cool meme coin with a dog, and somebody became a millionaire. Let me invest my.
Hey, but this one has a hat on.
Yeah, but this one has a hat on. So let me, like, hey, Mom, can I borrow $1,000? Yes, son, but I really needed to pay whatever bill that's, not gonna get my shit all messed up. Oh yeah, sure, I'll give it back to you. Yeah, of course. And then a month later, yeah, mom, I bought this shitcoin on margin, and I got liquidated, and plus I owe a bunch of money to other people because I also borrowed money from other people, and there's going to be guys coming over that might break my knees. So it's you get into situations like this. However, right? So it's like kind of the wild west, right? But it's an interesting Wild West because, like I said, the reason for that is low barrier of entry. It's just like low barrier of entry, less intimidating. So what do you do with that? So I look at OpenSea, right? I look at regular markets, right? And they're struggling, they're struggling to do this, they're struggling to do that. In 2021, 2020, like 2022-ish, even the stock and bond market started really picking up, right? Started really moving. But, like the crypto market just started like blowing up, just crazy shit started happening in the crypto market. And so I'm just thinking, okay, so how can you channel that to something that's not dumb, something that actually will, actually have an impact, but still have that, ease of easy barrier of entry. And so I kept looking at OpenSea because I was an advisor on a project for now that's an Animoca company called Forge. And it was an NFT project doing NFT stuff. So I started looking at OpenSea and I see like all this traffic, right? People buying and selling. And it's just like, it's like monkey pictures and bear pictures and pictures of rocks. And like, it's just like my first NFT on OpenSea was because I just wanted to like buy an NFT on OpenSea just to see what it's like, right? I got this I still have no clue what it is, but it's like this slime stuff. It's like a slimy thing. It's like a slime blob. And it cost like 50 cents or something. I'm like, yeah, whatever, but it's like a slime blob card. And I'm just looking at this. I'm like, this is some really stupid shit. But you know what? I remember this. I was never actually involved with I never really did baseball cards, but I did, like the Marvel cards. Back, like the ones that came out like first, second edition. I mostly dealt with the first edition. I still have some actually.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Like the early 90s, like the ones that came in a pack with one hologram. Yeah, like those, right?
And if you were lucky, you got a hologram.
I got a whole book of them right now. Yeah.
Well, so you know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. So, but you could still go, into the comic book store back in like whatever 94, 95, you can get a pack of these, whatever it is, like it came 10 in a pack or something like that, right? Or 5 or 10. And then you'd always have a hologram. I'd always get the same freaking hologram too. It was always the Spider-Man one. It's like, I would never get the rare ones. But anyway, and I was thinking about that, right? And so I'm like, yeah, but this is stupid, but I did this shit too. And like, why did I do it? It's just like, I just liked it, right? It looked cool. It looked aesthetically pleasing. And there was a story tied to it. And the story is basically like, okay, so it's a lot more personable, right? It's a lot more personable. And so I'm thinking, okay, so this actually has legs. So why don't we yeah, thanks, Theo. What I know what you're thinking with that look. I know what you're thinking. I'm gonna get to the point one of these days. I'm gonna get to the point. Look, there's like 2 hours, so I'm gonna be done in about an hour. All right. So just I told you to go get a coffee.
I'm going this time for real.
Yeah. Go. Just go get a coffee or whatever you drink in Canada.
Don't feel any pressure from me and my how I stare at the camera, please.
Yeah. No, it's just like you're not staring at the camera, staring away from the camera. Like you don't want to look at me. Like you're angry at me.
He hasn't quite started snoring yet. So
perpetually angry at me like my wife.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, getting to the point, right? Looking at OpenSea saying, holy crap, there's so much traffic here. If only we could get something like this on actual real platforms where it makes a difference for people, like a commodities exchange. Hey, a commodities exchange with this kind of traffic would be great, right? So I'm thinking, okay, so how do we bridge that? Well, and then it started all coming together. It's like, okay, you can still use NFTs because right now a lot of NFTs are being, again, used for really stupid shit. But you could do so much more with the NFT. It was never meant to just be like monkey pictures. Right. The whole point of it was just to tokenize, right, and to uniquely tokenize assets. So, and I'm just thinking that I'm like, okay, so, but that's essentially what you can do with commodities. And commodities just bumped in my mind because of of developing economies. They're always very much, a lot of them are very much commodity driven and soft commodity driven, agriculture, production, like winemaking, wheat, cotton, like all these different things, right? And so it just started to kind of come together. Okay, but what if we combine that experience? What if we make this really low barrier of entry experience aesthetically pleasing? Because that's also a big thing of it, right? All this stuff, like you look at it and it makes your head hurt, right? If you look at the regular commodities exchange interface, right? It makes your head hurt. Like look at all these numbers running by, like, what the hell does all this mean, right? If you haven't been introduced to this world yet. And so it really finally hit me, started to come together. It's like, okay, so we take this experience with OpenSea, but we actually use the technology that's already there that can be used for so much more. Like say Kyle, he can use that wheel for actually, going to places on his motorcycle, not just for, putting in the background and spinning it all day long. It's the same thing with NFTs. So why don't we just have that experience with NFTs? And then it all started to click. I said, okay, but especially EUTXO has this really cool stuff like EUTXO boxes. And so EUTXO boxes can be then jammed with all this different stuff, right? All this information, metadata, and you can iterate for metadata. And it's just like, yeah, but that's traceability. Holy shit, that's traceability. Oh, and by the way, you can reference the two together. Oh, wait a second, you can do other stuff like digital identity with it, right? You can attach a digital identity to it. Okay, there you go. All these things, credentials, certificates, all these things just started to pop into place. And that's how Palmyra happened, because it just made sense that this would be a great way to get people, first of all, from the Web3 space, of course, that just haven't dealt with commodities that kind of are interested in it, plus people who are already in the Web2 space that are actually speculating in commodities but don't have access to these other commodities that are underserved because the legacy system cannot accommodate them because of all these different things that they don't have, like this tooling that we have with Web3. And that's just how the idea started to grow. It just really, really made sense that you use this for all these different things. And even now, when we come up with new use cases, like like when we started looking into decentralized trade financing and to all these different things, we started really kind of understanding that, yeah, it still fits, right? It still fits. And it's especially with the EUTXO model. That's where it really is cool because of all the stuff that you can do with it. Because again, it also is a business decision. It's just easier to do this kind of business in the UTXO. It's more realistic because, in our Looney Tunes world of Web3, you'll buy a monkey picture for $1 million and you pay $100,000 in transaction fees. In the real world, people will look at you like you're an idiot if you ask them to do that. And that's the thing. It has to be a lot. It cannot be that heavy. And so EUTXO fixes a lot of these things. Fixes a lot of these issues with this portability, this and this kind of versatility that a lot of the EVM systems just do not have. So I mean, that's in a really, really big nutshell, like the size of Vancouver. How do you say it, right, Theos? Is it Vancouver?
I have a Greek accent. I can't even say.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forget. Yeah, I keep forgetting that you're Greek.
Vancouver.
Sorry.
Like it's.
Yeah.
I still have my Greek accent.
Well. In the way you say it in Canada as well, we'll figure it out one of these days. All right. So don't go outside and start thinking about it too much.
Out in the boot.
Figure out what it's all about.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. Well, sorry for interrupting you there, Dan. I know it hasn't quite been your 45 minutes, but...
Well, sorry. I'm only at like what, 25? Oh, shit.
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
guys.
You were like 20 minutes short on...
Sorry.
But it's fine. We'll try to fill it in. So
let's try and fill it in, yeah. Let's try and fill it in.
If I'm a normie, why does product traceability matter to me? And how does Zengate and or Palmyra help me with that?
Okay.
If I'm a normie, not talking to Adam,
if you're a normie, right? Yeah. If you're a normie, and just not even put Palmyra, why does traceability matter, right? You go to the supermarket, right? You go and somebody says, these are special apples, right? They were organically grown in Zimbabwe. I'm just saying, because, or okay, I'll give you a better one, right? I'll give you a better
On
one.
Mars.
I'll give you on Mars. Yeah. It's potatoes growing on Mars. Like that one movie about Mars with Matt Damon. Yeah. Anyway,
Where he needlessly starved himself for a bad movie.
Tasmania. Okay, we'll go Tasmania. Okay, we got some strawberries from Tasmania. Right, it's a big thing over there, right? They're into all the organics and all this natural stuff, and it's quite pricey, right? You go to a supermarket in wherever in Arizona that there are people, and you say, okay, these strawberries from Tasmania are pretty freaking expensive, but they look kind of good, and people said that strawberries from Tasmania are really good, right? So I'm going to buy them, and then you buy these things. And then you find out that they were actually grown in Adam's backyard, and they kind of taste crappy. Sorry, Adam, I didn't mean to,
No, that's probably fairly accurate.
Well, so there you go. Like how did you know? How could you know that these strawberries actually are from Tasmania and actually are the real deal? They're come on, Andrew. I mean, like more than 10. Like I'm talking about more than 10. Wow, Theo, you were really small for a second there.
Right? I can do that again.
So like you had to go light the fireplace over there.
Wow, you're really tiny. Yeah, Theo, actually, if it can shrink like that, we can actually save money for for your seed to
for my Japan trip.
Yeah. Gonna just send you through EMS. So that matters, right? Do you like getting ripped off? Like, do you like buying fake shit? I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, that really what it boils down to. If you're the end consumer, right? Do you like, say, supporting, unsustainable means? Do you want to be like, is your floor or whatever in your house that you just bought from the parquet place down the street? I mean, is it really worth chopping down a rainforest for? You can get wood floor somewhere else, right? Is it really worth it? Like, did any people get murdered for your diamond ring?
Hasn't been ethical.
All these different things, like it matters to me, and it matters to a lot of people, and that's why traceability is important. Because with traceability, with immutable traceability. And I'm being kind of like, I'm bringing extreme cases in it for shock value or whatever. But think about, it's not really, like if you think about it, yeah, there are blood diamonds out there. There are blood jewels. There are, just companies screwing around and with unsustainable ways of production, with fake carbon credits. Like they say, oh yeah, we're so green, but then like
double counting acres, trees and everything else.
But then acres of endangered forests are chopped down. And look, I'm not like a super environmentalist. Of course, I'm a realist, right? But I'm not like one of these guys who's going to climb up on a tree and chain himself. But still, like if we don't have to destroy like a living thing for our, for ourselves, for our luxuries, I would rather, or if we have to, there's a sustainable way to bring back the volume there. Like if we're talking about, vegetation or trees or whatever, I want to do that. As a consumer, I want to do that. And in fact, I'm ready to pay more to do that. And I'm not saying everybody will, but more and more of us are, because more and more of us understand that this is an important aspect of sustainability. Because if you like this nice shit, you're going to want to have more nice shit. And we're going to run out of nice shit if you don't do it in a sustainable way, even with luxuries. So yeah, of course it's important. And I just really think that it's going to be, it is becoming more and more important in the world right now. There's more and more mandates for traceability for foodstuffs, for other things, for carbon credits, for all these different things, right? and it's going to become more and more obvious to people that you can't just, I mean, it's just like the same thing. Okay, it's the same thing with your own body, right? If you think about it, you eat shit, you'll feel like shit. You eat good, you'll feel good, right? It's the same type of thing. If you consume something that is sustainable, something that is clean, then you're going to have a good reaction to it. If you eat like shit and you consume shit, you're going to feel and look like shit, and that's it. And that's the bottom line here. So it's sustainability. It's all about that, and it's all about just not getting ripped off. End of rant.
If I could add one more thing there, I think it's quite important also to understand, because we were talking about data, and why people care about the traceability side of things, right? There's a lot of times that I could come and say, oh, this product is XYZ, like Dan mentioned earlier, and you have to pay, all that amount of money. But at the same time, you have to see the farmer's perspective as well, right? There's a lot of small farmers that, they go do their thing, they'll have their product, and then a big guy will come in, they'll give them like a super small amount of money, buy all of their product, be like, see ya, label it something different, and they can make all of the money. There's also all these people between the farmer and the consumer that they do like to add a lot of stuff in terms of, price points, obviously, in order for them to get all of their cut, but at the same time, the farmer doesn't get anything from it. So, Palmyra and the traceability protocol actually will give back the power to these small farmers, to all this, micro, small, medium size producers, that they didn't have that opportunity before. And now it's also important to understand that, the guy from the tea producer from Sri Lanka or from Kenya or from Greece, the Greek olive oil producer, they cannot come to US to go to these conferences so they can, market their products. So how can they have, customers from US, customers from the European Union, which these are the two big economies that, people care about. Well, now they do have this access to all those people through Palmyra, and at the same time, they can tell their story, which is very, very important, right? If I go to Adam and say, Adam, the strawberries that you're growing in your backyard, are they tasting good? Oh, they're the best strawberries. Isn't that what every farmer says for their hard work and the products that they produce? 100%. And everybody believes it. It's not that they're lying about it, but how can you have their story attached to the product? And also at the same time, all the information around that product that people care about to know, now at least you have this opportunity with the traceability component, with all the metadata and the NFT technology. You can have all those information actually traveling along with the product, with the commodity, and that gives the buyer a piece of like a peace of mind that, hey, what I'm consuming right now, it was grown into Adam's backyard, and I know because I went online and saw Adam, and I want to help out, whatever the case might be. And at the same time, they're ethically sourced. I think that's a big thing. We've seen this, especially the past 5-10 years. We've seen, like, this is the thing, right? Because of the internet, now we all have all that information, and we're all getting more knowledgeable about what's going on. So we start asking for things, I want to know that this is organic, or this is cage-free, or this is whatever the case might be. Like, how do you know, though? Like, when I go and pay for these, the 12-pack of eggs, and it says organic and cage-free, how the hell would I know for sure that it's actually happening?
I just want to say, while we're on the subject of strawberries, the white strawberries in Japan are absolutely worth it. You got to check them out. They're pretty next level.
That's politically incorrect, by the way, Adam. Okay.
Oh yeah, sorry, Caucasian strawberries. My bad.
Thank you. Thank you.
Chris, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to tack on. Is my audio? Do I have a lag, by the way?
No, you're good.
Okay. You could really get down into the nitty-gritty details and micromanage the hell out of your traceability too, with something like what we're working on right now with Live Green Urban Farms. If just say you're a chef and you wanted to know there's a certain type of way you like your black-seeded Simpson lettuce to be grown, and there was this period of dryness and this period of moisture and this period of nutrients being delivered to the substrate that the food's being grown in. All these little details, the humidity, the CO2, all this stuff, that can all be collected by real live sensors and sent to the chain. And on these schedules, this is what we observed happen with this black-seeded Simpson lettuce. And you really can get into that, that crazy, the weeds and nuance there.
And with that, you can go into insurance, and you can go into selling the crop early, pre-selling the crop as a futures market, and all these other things. And that's where So we're excited too, because it's where we're working as well in that area. And
I'm telling you, that guy can tell you everything about it. I really like this. I really like this setup.
Some collaborative opportunities there.
So we've talked a little bit about traceability. What about discoverability? Like, I know right now, I don't know any Colombian coffee growers. I don't know any Japanese tea farmers. Can I use your protocols? Like, we're talking about spilling tea. If I want to create a tea shop in my hometown, does this protocol give me the opportunity to find those unique niche suppliers, go directly to them, cut out all my middlemen, and start my own business?
Yeah,
Because that's something I can't do today without a ton of legwork.
Well, we had that actually already happen.
It's happening
with Mythos Teas that literally started their business around our platform. You can totally do that, and you go directly to these guys, right? You don't have to go, to some dude in the back of the alley, with a big truck full of tea, and say, he's like, "Yo, bro, I got your Ceylon, I got your Oolong, I got your Earl Grey on." You don't have to do that anymore. Well, I don't know if you ever had to do that, but anyway, it doesn't have to be like complicated, right? You just go on the platform, you look at what you like, right? It's not complicated. It's just like, it's not like, ooh, so if you want to know the difference, it will tell you the difference, right? It says it on the platform what the difference is between like loose leaf and whatever, or blends or single sourced or different types. It has all that information, but it's not brain surgery. You just go on there. If you want to do some research on it, you can do some research on the platform. But mainly, that's basically what it's about: is connecting you, the business, to the producer, and just letting you transact. And that's essentially is the function of the platform, and that's also. I said this a couple of times because actually our commodities expert, the advisor that Lamont Rattan, he said this. He says, commodities exchanges, like okay, so the average person, which we don't have on this thing, it's what I feel lied by the picture showing Dan with hair. Like I kind of do though.
That's why traceability and immutability is so important, right? Because like we already went over this, right? I could say that my strawberries are white Japanese strawberries, but they'll be red and actually from an Arizona garden. But one of the most interesting things above ground ones that have to be very carefully managed.
To me, Arizona just reminds me of like Fallout.
Pretty much. That's where I live is actually the setting of New Vegas. Like, if you ever had any questions, like some of the DLCs actually add the towns around where I live, because this whole area is New Vegas. But
are you in a Brotherhood?
No, I'm probably gonna be Caesar's Legion YOLO. Like, if it comes down to that, like, just go full cannibal. Why not?
Nice.
But yeah, one of the most interesting things about the Palmyra platform for me, getting to learn a little bit more about it and see it at the World Tea Expo this year, was how you can get, by removing the middleman, you're allowing some of the more cool niche products to get to market and get to people like Andrew that want to open up his own tea shop. So like some of the producers had these little like hand-tied white tea leaf stars that were like 12 individual little tea leaves tied into like a little sun shape that you could like drop into your teacup. And so it's really novel, but you would never like be able to produce the volume to get into a large distributor and find a market.
Yeah, specialty. They're specialty.
Yeah,
They're
like
artisan.
special teas, right? And these tea cigars, like they look like a little blunt, for lack of a better term, but you drop it in your cup and it unrolls, and it's kind of like a whole leaf tea thing. So they have these like really cool things that you can get exposure to, that allow your tea shop to even be a little bit niche and different, that you can't get by going through the big wholesalers. So it is really part of this whole advent of enabling the producers to reach directly to the consumers, and the consumers to reach directly to the producers, and then also know that what they're buying is authentic and not just some guy named Theo in a seedy part of downtown Vancouver trying to sell them authentic Ceylon tea.
I mean, all parts of Vancouver are seedy, so it's just say Vancouver. Vancouver.
This is where it gets really cool, because if you think about commodities, and ultimately if you sell a commodity just as a commodity, corn is always corn, wheat is always wheat, right? And so there's nothing to differentiate yourself on those larger commodities markets at all. The way you can do it is when you can generate these new one-to-one relationships. And so it works in agriculture because of things like microgreens and specialty lettuces and specialty herbs and things, and then it works in tea and those other places. So it does work for these particular places, and we can really enable a whole new market that doesn't exist without us. So I'm looking at the time. We're hitting up here. We've got about 8 minutes left on the hour. So
we haven't said anything about Palmyra yet.
And you haven't said anything about Palmyra.
We haven't said anything about the whole ecosystem yet, but damn.
But so we've got 8 minutes left, so let's get into final thoughts, and you guys tell us a little bit more about what's going on with Palmyra. Tell us what's the ask, what's happening right now, guys.
All right. Well, who's going to do it? Is it going to be Theo, or is it going to be
you go, superstar?
Okay. All right. So how deep should I get into it? Deep or deep?
Like
deep?
very surface level.
Like we've got 8 minutes left, Dan.
Less than 8 minutes.
Surface level.
That level of deep.
All right.
Talk about the 3 pillars here. Talk about the ecosystem.
Right.
Surface level.
Right. So the 3 pillars. You know what, Theo? Why don't you talk about the 3 pillars?
Sure. Yeah. So super quick, just so I can make sure that we'll do that in 7 minutes. So we've talked about Palmyra. We've talked about the traceability component. It gives global access markets, financial instruments to people that didn't have access to any financial instruments at all, or if they do, the interest rates are up to the sky, 50% or more sometimes. So they will be able to actually have that. I'm gonna go super quick, unfortunately. So this is the first pillar. We also have the second pillar of the Palmyra ecosystem, which is the Palm economy, and this is where now the Palm token is coming into play. Super quick, how everything is tied in together is through the token. So I will come into the Palm economy in like 10 seconds. But we also have the third pillar, which is the Palm DAO. It's what literally it is. It's a decentralized business development that we're going to be doing, and we're going to be having our community be involved. If you will, a small project catalyst, exactly that idea, same idea, but instead of putting proposals to make a DApp or whatever the case for Cardano, you will be bringing business onto the platform. So, for example, Lloyd knows quite a few potato farmers in his area. He could just put a proposal in. He'll say, guys, I need $15,000 because I can go in and bring these 20 producers. Why I need 15,000? Same idea. What's your milestones? What's your budgeting? Whatever. You do that. You put your proposal. Palm token holders vote for it. You get it, you go, you do your thing, you bring business on the platform, and now we're scaling the platform like that. So sharing economy in that sense, we're going to be incentivizing the community to start being actively involved and to bring business onto the platform, either producers or buyers. And how everything is tied in together now, Palmyra platform, Palm economy, and the Palm DAO, is through the token and the 3 utilities that it has. Super quick again. The first utility is called rebate fees. And what's happening is essentially all the transactions that are happening between business to business with dollars, with like fiat currency, a portion of that will be going into another pool of funds, if you will. And from that pool of funds, the 80% of that pool will be getting, will have what we call a capital infusion. So real dollars will be buying Palm tokens, getting distributed to all the people that are staking their Palm tokens on Palmyra. So we're going to actually have new revenue coming into the Cardano ecosystem from the outside world and not from other chains. So that will be a good thing. And we're also going to be utilizing 10% of the 20 remaining. 10% will be going to Oracle providers. So we're going to be having quite a few announcements that are becoming fairly soon about which Oracle providers we're going to be partnering with. But there's going to be actually quite a few of them. There won't be just one. So we're actually talking to different Cardano projects right now, Cardano oracles, which they're not too many, so it's not that you cannot guess which ones they are. But at the same time, we are talking with external oracle providers as well. So that's the second part. And the last part, that 10%, is where it's going to be going into the treasury. Again, same idea as ADA happens right now with ADA, the circle of life. The last 10% will be going to the treasury, so we can have different round of funds and scale the platform a lot faster, and at the same time give the opportunity to the community to be involved, give them all the right incentives, all the right tools, and hopefully they can themselves, we can create new jobs out of this as well. Because now you can be a salesman for Palmyra. You can go outside and bring business to it, and you can make money out of it. So again, this is on a surface level in like 4 minutes. Hopefully I was able to cover everything and kind of like paint the picture a little bit better on what we're building. Because it's not just the commodities, the tokenized commodities platform. It's actually the whole ecosystem around it that, it's quite important for us to have in order for everything to scale in this global setting that we're trying to be. Dan, if you want to give in 2 minutes the updates, what's coming up.
So just to add to what you were saying, another really important and very interesting component that we're going to be working with or building is decentralized trade financing. So access to trade financing is a huge problem for developing economies and developed economies, small farmers, everywhere, right? It's a big problem worldwide. And so what we're basically doing in a nutshell is creating an aggregate protocol that will combine, that will work with other DeFi protocols to bring liquidity and borrowing opportunities to producers and lending opportunities to DeFi participants, along with working with some traditional institutions that are looking for tools to de-risk, which we're going to have on chain, and neobanks to kind of create various different types of borrowing opportunities for trade finance participants and create really nice yield opportunities for people who are lending the funds in a pretty well de-risked manner with the same tooling that the bank would use to de-risk themselves. And so the problem right now is that a lot of these developing economies, even if you can borrow, if you're big enough to be able to borrow, you still borrow at like 30%. I think we can do better than that, right? And this, I think, is going to be great because finally, DeFi is going to be used for something other than, buying more monkey pictures or shit coins, and also is going to actually bring products to the mainstream that is viable, right? Yeah, they're going to want to borrow something on less than 30%, or if they can borrow it all, they'll want to borrow, right? So yeah, it just makes sense. Now, what's coming up? Quite a few things, right? So Palm Economy right now is in the midst of a private sale. And very soon, we're actually going to have a public sale happening from Palm Economy in the next few weeks. So that's really exciting. We're going to be working with several platforms. One of them is T-1 once again. Aside from that, we're going to be going to several of our big events. Oh, and there's Theo. Bye, Theo. We're going to be at the Cardano Summit. We're going to be at Rare Evo. We have, we have exchange listings lined up. We have, centralized exchange, decentralized exchange listings lined up. We have quite a lot of action even after TGE, post TGE. We're going to have various different things to look forward to. We got partnerships coming up. This is an announcement of an announcement. I'm doing a Justin Sun, but really like serious shit. Not like it's not the Palm Economy is partnered with Palmyra Platform. Not that. Not we were not going to partner with Hosky either because maybe we will anyway. Some serious stuff, right? Stuff that basically is going to make you think, holy shit, this is happening. It's happening. Not just for Palmyra, but for the entire space. I mean, these are the level of partnerships that we have coming up. And again, really shortly, we're gonna let you guys know. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be cool. It's going to be so cool. It's going to be cool in Arizona. And
that's a big promise.
So, it's not going to be cool in Arizona anytime soon. But funny thing, the ancient Greeks used to go to oracles who would read tea leaves to tell them their future. And now we have a Greek Canadian who's selling tea leaves to make the future of decentralized farming. So it's funny how things come full circle.
Listen, I have studied Greek history extensively through viewing 300 over and over and over again. Okay, so I know about that. Okay, I know about the oracles at the top of the mountain.
Who's your favorite emperor?
Yes, you have to listen to the elders. Yeah. Oh, Theo. So do you have like an 8-pack?
What? Yeah. Well, of course I do. Every Greek has an 8-pack. Actually, we have a 10-pack. We don't have an 8-pack.
Yeah, and make sure you go to battle. Make sure you go to battle in like 90% nude. That also really helps. Anyway,
we scare them off. That's what used to happen.
Yeah, you definitely did. They're like Persians. Like, we're Persians. We are metrosexual. Like, oh, really? Like the Greeks are like, hold my beer.
Yeah, we definitely destroyed the space place now. Now it's time for us to leave.
Yeah. So now that we thoroughly wrecked, Adam is just sitting there like,
where do we go from here? Why did I even invite these guys? Why did I even
1969 Iran.
Yeah, Andrew is just sitting there like, I'm just gonna
deer in the headlights. He was gonna invest, but now he's like, I don't know about this anymore.
But it's Spaceplace and anything can happen. But we are past the top of the hour. So I do want to thank Dan and Theo for joining us today, sharing their insights, sharing their anecdotes, and sharing a lot of fun with us. We had a great time. A quick reminder that if you are in the Southwest Florida area, we are having a Catalyst working group next Friday and Saturday. Sign up on the Luma board for that if you're coming this way. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're actually going to be talking incubators and accelerators. That's next Friday and Saturday. So I hope to see any of you there that can make it. Thanks again to Dan and Theo for joining us. Thank you guys for a great time, and we'll see you all next time.
Thanks for having us.